chance on last talk, no? Today is the last talk. So, without saying anything more, I request Swami to give his sermon.
Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Our experiences are what we call our lives. Yeah. And we saw yesterday how the student asks a question, a remarkable question. He doesn't ask about some special experience. He asks, what is the nature of experience itself? What's the nature of seeing and hearing and talking and thinking and feeling and breathing? Just our life. What's the secret of this? What makes all of this possible? He asks, which bright being illumines all of our experiences? And the teacher's answer we saw was equally remarkable, even more remarkable. It is the eye of the eye. It is the ear of the ear. It is the mind of the mind. It is the speech of the speech. It is the breath of the breath. And that one, if you realize that one light which makes our seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, feeling, speaking, actions, all of it possible, that one light, if you realize that, right here, right now, you will attain to freedom while being embodied in this body. You will transcend the body and mind. And after death, you attain to the bodiless freedom. Jivan Mukti, freedom here, Videha Mukti, freedom hereafter. Both you attain. The ultimate goal, purpose, point of human life is attained thereby. Why just human life, all existence? That is the dimensions, that is the depth, the profound depth of the matter which we are discussing here. It does not get any more sublime. It does not get any more profound, what we are discussing here. And yet it's not easy to point out. And the teacher said, speech cannot reveal it. Eyes, our senses cannot objectify it. Our speech cannot, whatever we can express in language cannot capture that ultimate reality, that pure consciousness. Mind cannot conceive of it. Yet, they gave the teaching in a remarkable teaching. How do we know what we are talking about? This pure consciousness, what is it? How do we know? And the teacher said, it's other than the known. It's other than the unknown. Some of the mantras which I did not refer to yesterday, he follows it up by saying, what is that? It is that which cannot be seen by the eyes, but because of which you get the experience of seeing. And that one, he says, know that to be Brahman, the ultimate reality of this universe, from which this universe emerges, in which it exists, into which it disappears. That Brahman and this light by which you have the experience of seeing, they are one and the same thing. The Atman and the reality of this universe, Brahman, they are one and the same. It is not something that the mind can think of, but because of it, you have the experience of thinking, willing, imagining, remembering, desiring. So it lights up the mind, but the mind cannot grasp it. The eyes cannot see it, but it sees everything. I was just remembering that right here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena, in fact, Swami Vivekananda was here, and there was a young lad, Ray, I think. He asked Ray, can you see your own eyes? He says, no. And God is like that. God sees everything, but you cannot see him. Just as I see everything, it's almost the language of the Kenopanishad. Vivekananda was using right here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena. And so this is the teaching. The light by which we experience everything, by which we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, by which we think, by which we speak. All actions, all mentation, all feeling, all sensory experiences, all of these experiences are because of that one central light. It is often called the light of lights, Jyotisham apitad Jyoti, the light of lights forever beyond darkness. The teacher does not use language like Atman, pure consciousness. No, he just says ear of the ear, eye of the eye. Almost like Vivekananda's language. It's like your own eyes, which you cannot see. Having said this, the teaching is now complete. Hopefully, the student is enlightened. Now it's a time for an exam, quiz. The teacher wants to test whether the student has become enlightened. So the teacher asks a question, puts a difficult question, tough question to the student. Yadi manyase suvedeti daharam evapi nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam yadasya tvam yadasya deveshvatanu mimamsyam evate manye viditam. The teacher asks the student, so do you know Brahman? That's the subject today, by the way. Do you know Brahman? So it's done. Teaching is over. Do you know Brahman? Because if you think you know Brahman, then you know very little indeed. You know very little of that ultimate reality which is behind this cosmos. You know very little of it within yourself. Two things, subject and object. I, the individual, and this cosmos. I, the subject, and this objective universe. And what he has been teaching the student is your innermost reality, that consciousness because of which your life is possible, is also the reality of this universe. Atman is Brahman. I'm quoting Sam Altman. Yeah, somebody asked him, OpenAI guy, ChatGPT, somebody asked him, tell us something that you believe in which we don't know. And he said, Atman is Brahman, using those words. So he's very interested in Advaita Vedanta. Anyway, so that's what the teaching is. Atman is Brahman. That is your innermost reality, that consciousness because of which you have all these experiences, which is the question that the student asked. But he says this is also the reality of the universe. The one who sees and that which you see. The one who hears and that which you hear. The subject and the object are all one reality, one underlying reality. Got it? Enlightened? What do you think? The student says yes. But if you think you know Brahman, you know very little. You know very little of it in the cosmos, he says, literally if you translate, in the gods. And very little of it within yourself. You have not understood what we are talking about. What do I do then? And the teacher says, Mimamsyam evate. It's an ancient word, Mimamsa. It's, in fact, if you ask a traditional Pandit, Vedanta, they will say it's Mimamsa. What's the meaning of? Relax. Don't fight it. What is the meaning of this word Mimamsa? It is Vedic hermeneutics, interpretation. All this philosophy that we do, Drigdrishya, Viveka, Panchakosha, the way of the five sheets, seer and the seen, all this logic philosophy, a traditional Vedanta Pandit will say all that is secondary. It's basically interpretation of the Vedic texts of the Upanishads. That's Vedanta. Interpretation of the pre-Upanishadic, the Karma Kanda, the Upasanas, of those texts is what is called Purva Mimamsa, the earlier Vedic hermeneutics. And what we call Vedanta is Uttara Mimamsa, the later, the Vedic hermeneutics, interpretation of texts. But Mimamsa also has another meaning. Mimamsa means, the definition is Pujita Vichara, a reverential inquiry. A little contradiction in terms. You have reverence and you are inquiring. So you go into this inquiry with the idea there is something worthwhile here. I don't get it right now, but I implicitly trust what the text and the teacher is saying. Let me try to get it. And in order to get it, I undertake an inquiry. So it's a reverential inquiry. You can have skeptical inquiry. You can have free thinking. You can have skepticism. I don't believe any of it. Or you can have belief, reverence, without inquiry. You're telling me, so I believe you. No, neither will work. In Vedanta, you need both Shraddha, reverence. Otherwise, nobody will enter this path or stick to it. So we have that. That's what has made all of us turn up here. We are all here because of a shared reverence, a shared faith in what's going on here. But then on top of that, one must inquire. One must come to understand. One must come to see for oneself. Otherwise, it won't work. This is the path of knowledge. It must dawn on us. We must see for ourselves. So, Mimamsyam evate, inquire. The student says, what should I do then? I think I know. The teacher says, you know very little. What should I do? Inquire. Reverential inquiry. Mimamsyam evate. How do you do this reverential inquiry? Well, listen to the texts. Go back to the YouTube classes. Read the books. Listen to the masters. Think about it again. Think it through. Try to attain more clarity. Once the clarity is attained, the student comes back and says, I have inquired. And, do you know Brahman? Same question. You can take the test again. He says, I think I do. Manye veditam, I do. And you can see the teacher rolling his eyes. Didn't I tell you it cannot be known? It's other than the known. If you know it, you don't know it. You say, I'm asking you, do you know it? He says, yes, I do. But I told you, it's other than the known, other than the unknown. Did you not hear the teaching? Now, if the student is in it, it's a difficult question. Because if you say, I know it, he'll say, you have not understood the teaching. Because it cannot be known. And if you say, I don't know it, well, the whole teaching failed then. You're unenlightened. But the student is one step beyond the teacher. He's a wonderful student, grade A student. So he has his own comeback to the teacher. Teacher asks, so, do you know Brahman? He says, I think I do. And before the teacher's, like exasperated look, the student, you can imagine, you have to visualize all. The student says, wait a minute. Naham manyesu vedeti no na vedeti vedacha. Yonas tadveda no na vedeti vedacha. I don't say that I know it. Ah, so you don't know it. No, I know it. Ah, so you know it. No, I don't. It's not that I do not know it, but it's not that I know it. And you can see, imagine the other students all scratching their heads. What's going on here? I know it and I don't know it. And the student looks around and he says, Yonas tadve, those who understand my statement that I know it and I do not know it. It's not that I do not know it, I do know it and I do not know it. Those of us who understand this statement, they know it. Now this is an answer. Now see what the student has done. It's a remarkable answer. You know what the student has done? He has just repeated back the teacher's teaching. It is other than the known. It's other than the known, therefore I don't know it. But it's other than the unknown, therefore I know it. If it's other than the unknown, then I know it. It's not that I don't know. And if it's other than the known, then in that sense I do not know it. What he means is, that's why I'm saying it's all following from the original question of the student. It means what we normally think, ordinarily understand by knowing, that I see it, I hear it, or I read about it, or the sacred texts tell me about it, or I reason about it, do scientific experiments about it, or ask Google about it. At this point, somebody's phone will say, I'm sorry, I did not follow that. So ask Google about it. In some way we know it. And the student says, no, we cannot know it in that way, because it's other than the known. But is it unknown? Of course not. That light, that consciousness by which I see, I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch, I think, how can it be unknown? It's known everywhere, all the time, as I, me, myself. As the core of my being, as that which powers all my experiences. Basically the light of my life, the light of lights. How can it be unknown? So of course it's not unknown to me, but of course it's not known to me. And those who understand the statement among these other students, they understand, they know it too. And the teacher is delighted. You got it. Now see, if he had just repeated the teacher's words back to him, that wouldn't have been much of a credit. If he had just said, yes, it's other than the known, other than the unknown. The teacher would have gone, duh, I just told you that. Tell me something new. But he put it in his own realization, in his own experience. And he said that he gave the same teaching, but in his own experience, in his own language, in his own formulation. See, just repeating the teacher's words is no guarantee that I have understood. I can repeat the words of the scripture back to you, but doesn't mean that I'm enlightened. I like that story, there's an anecdote about the philosopher Wittgenstein. And apparently in the class he would come and do philosophy, because what he taught in the class became philosophy. It became philosophy books afterwards. So he would stand in front of the students and think it through. And he would come up with something new all the time. He was not teaching from a textbook. He was philosophizing in class. The thing about him was, whatever you said, if you tried to say, "Professor, this is what you taught us," he would say, "No, I didn't say that." This was exasperating to the students. Every time they would get contradicted. He would say, no, that's not what I said. So one of the students apparently wrote down what Wittgenstein said, literally. And in the next class, in order to catch him out, said, "So you said this." And Wittgenstein said, no, I didn't say this. He said, "Professor, this is exactly what you said. I wrote it down. These are your words." And then Wittgenstein said, "But you don't mean by those words what I meant by them." But now, if you can convey the same message in different language, it's not that I do not know, and not that I know either. I both know and I do not know. So everybody's looking confused. You can imagine all this. And the teacher wants to explain. It's either the teacher or the Upanishad. The commentator says it could be either. The teacher looks at all the students and explains, what did he just say? What did he just say? Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasa avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. Those who think I know it, they do not. And to those who think I do not know it, they know it. For it is known to those who do not know and unknown to those who know. I'm sure that cleared it up for everybody. So that is the explanation. We know what is being said here. We know that, see, when you say, I do not know, it means I do not know as an object. I do not know as something seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched, something thought about, something spoken about, something written about, something believed, something inferred. Not in that way. It's not an object. But it is that to which all experience, all knowledge happens. So it is self-luminous. It's revealed in every experience. In that sense, it is known. But it is known not as an object, but as the very subject, as the reality about ourselves, as what we truly, essentially, we really are. Our own real self. The real I. We have a series of small eyes. And the Buddhist momentary consciousness, Kshanika Vijnanavad, they were right. Experience. Our life is a series of experiences. The Buddhist said, with every experience arises the experiencer. And it fades away. The next experience and an experiencer. I'm seeing something and there is a seer. I see. And the seeing goes away. The I which saw also goes away with that. Another I arises. These are vrittis in the mind. This is called ahankara, the ego vritti. It arises with every object. Every subject arises with an object. But beyond both of these fleeting subjects and objects, fleeting experiences and experiencing egos, is the real I, which is, call it the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, call it pure consciousness, call it Atman, Brahman, whatever. So that is the real self. So that is what they are pointing towards. It's me. It is, I am not something known, but I am not unknown either. So therefore, I, the consciousness, am other than the known, and I am other than the unknown. See, when he says here that those known to those who do not know, what does he mean? What does the teacher mean? He means advanced students of Vedanta who have studied Vedanta, who have pursued this quest for self-knowledge for a long time. When they say, I do not know it as an object of knowledge, they know what they're talking about. They're not talking about the common man on the street. If you go out there and ask somebody, do you know Brahman? Say, what? What Brahman? I don't know any Brahman. So is he enlightened then? So clearly the Upanishad says those who do not know, they know. So if he says, I don't know, I don't know any Brahman. So, you are enlightened, great master. No, they're not enlightened. You're not talking about them. They're not talking about persons who are not in this framework. In this framework, those who understand that the consciousness is that which illumines. It's not something that the eyes can see, but it is that by which all the eyes see. And it is not that something the ears can hear, but it's that by which the ears hear. You know it by being it. That Nisargadatta story, I love that. Somebody said to him, in fact, there was one gentleman here, Radhakrishnan, he met Nisargadatta. Yeah. So, and he told me he got scolded. But Nisargadatta was a very rough man. So somebody said to him, "You are a Brahmagyani, a knower of Brahman." And Nisargadatta immediately was furious upon him like a ton of bricks. He said, "No, you are insulting me." "Why is that an insult? We are just saying you are enlightened. You are the knower of Brahman." "I am not the knower of Brahman. I am Brahman." The truly enlightened person will never say, "I know that." If you know that, you are distinct from it. What are you then? What is the one who knows that? You are it. That is what you are. You are that. So, wonderful. All great. Why did this test happen? The commentator says, Shishya buddhi vicharanartham, in order to shake the conviction of the student. But why would you shake the conviction of the student? You are a teacher. You would want your student to learn well, right? But the shaking is for the sake of learning well. There is an ancient Sanskrit metaphor of driving in a wooden post into the ground. Stuna nikandana nyaya, which means when you drive it in, hammer it, push it into the soil, what do? You shake it a little, pull it out a little more, and then drive it in even further, so that it settles in more deeply. So that's what was done here. Asking this difficult question to the student and to shake the student's understanding so that the understanding becomes even clearer. And you see how much clarity has been attained by the student. All right, so far so good. Now comes the climax, what I think is the climax of the Upanishad. Something tremendous. That's the subject for this evening. I haven't started yet. All this was preparation. Now, the teacher goes on to say, so we are left with the question, what is enlightenment? What is knowing Brahman? What constitutes full-blown enlightenment? And as I said, the Kenopanishad is very dramatic. You will see now how stunning he flips the whole thing around. What does he say? Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amritam ihacheda veditatha satyamasti nachediha vedit mahati vinashti bhuteshu bhuteshu vichitya dhira pretyasmad lokad amrita bhavanti. What did he say? He said full enlightenment. What do I mean by enlightenment? Is when you experience Brahman in every experience. In every experience you experience Brahman, thereby one attains immortality. By the mind is cultivated the qualities required for enlightenment. Atmana vindate viryam. By yourself you must cultivate the qualities required for enlightenment, the purity. Vivekananda says, all we can do is polish the mirror. All we can do is polish the mirror. So the fitness, the strength required for enlightenment, that is attained, acquired by the mind, and by the knowledge which results in such a mind, immortality is attained. Attainment is already there, we discover it. If one realizes this immortality, this enlightenment, if it is had in this life, then satyamasti, you have attained reality, you have attained the goal of life. You have known that which is to be known, you have attained that which has to be attained in human life, you have done that which has to be done in human life. I was reading reminiscences of Swami Turiyananda. In one place he says, Manushya jivane ja karar katha ta korichi. What has to be done in human life, I have done. Imagine the glory of saying that. I have attained what has to be attained. I have realized, I have known what has to be known. And I have done what has to be done in life. The purpose, the goal of life. What, not just this life, lifetime after lifetime. It is at an end now, it's culmination. So, ata satyamasti. Suppose I don't have this enlightenment in this life. Suppose I miss it. He says, mahati vinashti. There is a great loss. It's a tremendous loss. Human life, the best thing that we can do in human life is to attain enlightenment and to attain freedom from this limited, imprisoned existence or a series of such existences. So this great is the loss unless we realize it in this life. So this is an inspiration, a commandment, a scare tactic for us to become enlightened. Become enlightened in this life. In this very life, the enlightened ones discern, bhuteshu bhuteshu, in all beings they discern this underlying reality, this one consciousness, this Atman, Brahman. In every being, in every experience, they find this and thereby attain to freedom be in this life and beyond this life. This is the translation of the the text which I just recited. Now, for the remaining time, I'll focus on a little phrase, which I regard as the climax of the Upanishad. Just 2 words. Pratibodha viditam matam. Pratibodha. This phrase, pratibodha viditam. What is full enlightenment? Pratibodha viditam. When it is realized in every experience. That is full enlightenment. What does it mean? Why is it so important? Why is it so amazing? Let me explain. Let's dwell a little bit on that. First of all, look at the dramatic reversal. Till now, what was going on? It is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, mind of the mind, speech of the speech, breath of the breath. So that means it's not the eyes or the ears, it's not the body, not the mind. And it cannot be known by the mind, it cannot be expressed by speech, it cannot be known by the senses. Not this, not this. It is other than the known, it is other than the unknown. If you know it, you do not know it. If you don't know it, you know it. It is known to those who know. It is unknown to those who do not. It sounds utterly subtle and abstract. Whatever you can say, it seems the teacher is saying, not this, not this. And now see the dramatic flip. It says, in every experience, Brahman is realized. In every experience, the Atman is realized. This light of lights, in every experience it is evident. That's the magic word, pratibodha. In every experience, when you see Brahman, with, like Sri Ramakrishna says, with eyes closed, God is there. With eyes open, God is not there. What kind of a God is that? With eyes closed in samadhi, you experience the divine. With eyes open, you experience the divine. When do you experience the divine? When you see something. Which thing? Anything. When you hear something, when you taste something, when you smell something, when we touch something, when we think, when we imagine, when we love, when we hate, when we delight in things, when we remember. In all experiences, when we work, when we play, in all experiences, in all actions, in all sensory experiences, in all thoughts and feelings, in all ideas, everywhere, inside and outside, when Brahman is utterly, choicelessly, instantaneously, effortlessly available to you, then you are fully enlightened. Pratibodha viditam matam. Do you see how dramatic is the flip? At first it was all neti, not this, not this, not this. Whatever you can think of, the teacher says, no, you know very little indeed. You think you know, you don't know. But now he's saying in every knowledge, in every experience, Brahman is flashing forth. That's what we chant before food. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavi, Brahmagno, Brahmanautam. That when the food and the instruments by which we're eating, the one who is eating, the food that is being eaten, all of it is, you see Brahman in all of them. How? This is the question. So let's go a little deeper into this. Pratibodha viditam matam. This phrase. Pratibodha viditam matam. This word pratibodha. Before I go into the real meaning of pratibodha, I'll give you some teasers. I'll give you 3 meanings, all good, all beautiful, but not the real meaning. The real meaning is even more stunning, but all 3 meanings are initial meanings. Shankaracharya hints at some of them in his commentary. What could it mean, pratibodha? One meaning of pratibodha, not what is intended here, but one teaser is, pratibodha means waking up. Just waking up from sleep is called pratibodha in Sanskrit. So waking up from the sleep of delusion, waking up from the sleep of Maya, Swami Vivekananda would inspiringly say, sleep no more. Awake, arise, and stop not till the goal is reached. He is quoting from the Upanishads actually. Uttishtata jagrata prapya varan nibodhata. So arise from the sleep, awaken from the sleep of Maya, awaken from the sleep of delusion. How long will you sleep, O sentient being, O jiva? Lifetime after lifetime, sleepwalking through life. That was the Buddha. When the Buddha was asked, apparently by a little boy saw the Buddha, after his enlightenment, walking to Sarnath to give his first sermon. And the story goes, this poor shepherd asked him, not who are you? Houston Smith says, not who are you? What are you? Are you a god? He said, no. Are you a human being? He said, no. Then what are you? I am the awakened, I am Buddha. Meaning thereby, he is awakened. We are sleeping, or dreaming, or sleepwalking. So pratibodha means awakening. That's one meaning. Not what is intended here though. Then another second teaser would be, pratibodha means to awaken somebody else. So when you wake, somebody is sleeping and you say, hey, get up. And he says, what did you say? Did you call me? Similarly, the Guru awakens us. That's also pratibodha. The Guru awakens us to our real nature. The Upanishad is awakening us to our real nature. That's also pratibodha. Awakening somebody, enlightening somebody, that's pratibodha. The Master awakens us, pratibodha. The third meaning is also interesting. Bodha, the ordinary sense of the word bodha, is just knowledge, any kind of knowledge, any kind of experience. So go back to the student's original question. How do these eyes see? How do these ears hear? How does the mind think? How do these words emerge in speech? In all of these are called bodha. These are all bodha. When I want to see something, it's bodha. Hearing something is bodha. Tasting, thinking, speaking, all of these experiences are bodha. But pratibodha is when you turn it around and ask, how is this happening? What is this? Who am I? This is turning the flashlight, you see everything. When you turn the flashlight around to reveal your own face, sort of. That's a kind of an example. That is pratibodha. The inward turn to question what's going on here, like the student did. That's also a meaning of pratibodha. Bodha is outward, pratibodha is the other direction. I see. But what is that which sees through the eyes? What makes the eyes see? And that is pratibodha, that question. 3 meanings. None of them are what are intended. Now let's dive into it. Unpack pratibodha viditam matam. First, this central idea here. Central idea is this. Consciousness is the core of every experience. All experiences are nothing but consciousness experiencing some object. Consciousness illumining some object. Consciousness revealing, lighting up some object. That is an experience. I see. It is consciousness through these eyes seeing a form. I hear. It is consciousness through these ears hearing a sound. So, now in every experience, we are always caught up with the object of experience. Here are the people who matter to me. Here's the stuff which tempts me. Here is the stuff which scares me. Here is what I am pursuing. Here is what I am avoiding. These are all object of consciousness. But if one would just care to notice, in every experience, there is this one light which enables me to experience all these objects. It's like this. This light is illumining everything here. When I say, what do you see? You'll say, I see a chair. What do you see here? You say, I see the shrine. I see the Swami. But everywhere, the chair, you see the light reflected from the chair that's going into your eyes. You see the light reflected from the shrine that's going into your eyes. You see the light reflected from the clothes of the Swami that's going into your eyes. No object ever enters the eyes. The only thing that enters the eyes is light. What we ever see technically, literally, if you take it literally, what these eyes are receiving from the world is just light. That's what the eyes are designed to do. If the chair entered into our eyes, you have to call 911. What happened? He saw a chair. No. It would be disaster. It would be a medical disaster. It would be fatal. No. The only thing that the eyes can receive is light. And very soon it's not light. The moment it goes into the eyes, it's just electrical signals racing along our optic nerves. And very soon when those are somehow, nobody knows how. Nobody knows. No neuroscientist, no psychologist, nobody knows how those electrical activities they are converted into movements in the mind, vritti. So a table akar, chair akara vritti, a movement in the mind in the form of this chair is lit up in the mind, and that is lit up by consciousness, and I say, I see a chair. So like that, whenever I'm seeing something, basically it's light which is coming in. Similarly, the concept here is, whenever I experience something, anything, it's always consciousness, consciousness, consciousness. Let me give another example. Like Vivekananda gave the example of seeing with the eyes. The eyes see everything. So I see that person and the sight of that person proves to me that I'm seeing that person is there. What is the proof of the existence of that person? I see the person. What is the proof of the existence of that other person? I see that person also. I never see the eyes, because the eyes cannot see themselves. I mean, you can see your reflection in a mirror, you can see a selfie in a mobile phone, but the eyes cannot directly see themselves the way they are seeing everything. They cannot directly objectify themselves. They can't reflexively turn into themselves. They can't see it. And it's something that's well known in philosophy, in grammar. A thing cannot act upon itself. The knife cannot cut itself. So, similarly, an instrument cannot operate upon itself. So the eyes cannot see themselves. But what would it mean to see the eyes? What it means is, in every act of seeing, the eyes are revealed to me. The fact that I see that person not only reveals that person to me, it also reveals my eyes to me, in the sense that I know my eyes are there. How? Because I see you. The moment I see you, two things are revealed to me. You are revealed to me, and my eyes are revealed to me. The moment I see something else, that thing is revealed to me, but again my eyes are revealed to me. The moment I see a third thing, that thing is revealed to me, but again my eyes are revealed to me. In every act of seeing, I see, quote unquote, see my eyes. Similarly, here, pratibodha viditam matam means the inner core of every experience is consciousness. The fact that I have any experience at all, whether it is seeing or hearing or thinking or doing something, acting, whatever work that I do, whether it's waking or dreaming, even deep sleep, the fact that I have any experience at all reveals that I am consciousness. Every experience reflexively will show you that you are consciousness. To turn our attention back from the object of our experience to the illumining consciousness, this is the meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. One meaning. I'll go into a deeper meaning again. So this is the central meaning. In Drigdrishya Vivekam, whole meditation is on this. Kamadya chittaga drishya tat sakshittvena chetanam. Amazing meditation is set up in Drigdrishya Viveka. It says, think of anything. Let any thought come to your mind. Become aware of the awareness of that thought. In me, the awareness, desire, anger, even negative thoughts, they're coming up. Doesn't matter. Whatever the mind thinks of, become aware that it is in me the awareness that these thoughts are arising. It is because I am awareness, it is because I am consciousness that I am able to experience these thoughts. Pratibodha viditam matam. That means then, imagine, every experience reveals to me, just as every seeing reveals to me, quote unquote, the eyes, reveals to me the eyes, every experience in life reveals to me that I am consciousness, I am consciousness, I am consciousness. I am awareness, I am awareness, I am awareness. Every experience. So Vedanta has a way of putting people to sleep. I'm quite sure 2 or 3, 2%, 5% are sleeping right now. But Vedanta is fine with it. Because that also is revealing that you're consciousness. If you're daydreaming there, you're consciousness. If you're in deep sleep also, that blankness is revealed by consciousness. So, consciousness is revealed to us in every experience. Pratibodha viditam matam. This in itself is wonderful. What do I have to experience? What is the experience of Brahman? What is the experience of Brahman? Do you know Brahman? How do you know Brahman? When do you know Brahman? What is the experience that reveals Brahman? Every experience. The answer is every experience. When do you know Brahman? When do you not know Brahman? Where do you know Brahman? Everywhere. All the time. In everything. In every experience. Everywhere, all the time, in every experience. And now, here, and in this experience. Then you say, if that's true, but how is it that I don't know Brahman? And so Shankara here says, vidya, vidya. So all of this makes sense if you know, if you see the distinction between realizing and not realizing, knowing and not knowing. If I do not know, what will I say? I'm just seeing, I'm hearing, I'm talking, I'm eating, I'm walking, I'm just living life. And to the enlightened one, yes, you are living life, but a much greater experience is that every experience in this life shows the underlying divinity, that one divine light in which all experiences are illumined, in which all experiences are happening. So this is the core idea, the most brilliant idea, beautiful. Now we go deeper. We'll go deeper and deeper in our investigation. Okay. Go back to their teaching. It is other than the known, it's other than the unknown. Known and unknown, knowledge and ignorance belong to the ego. All knowledge is possible because of consciousness, we just said. In every knowledge, in every experience, consciousness is there. It is consciousness through the mind and the eyes that I have the experience of seeing. It is consciousness through the mind and the ears that I have the experience of hearing. So in every knowledge, consciousness is present. But when we do not know something, that unknown also is present in consciousness. All that is known is shining in consciousness. All that is unknown is also shining in consciousness. Consciousness and knowledge are not the same thing. In Sanskrit, in Vedanta, there are two terms, Sakshi Pramata. Witness consciousness is one thing, and the knower is another thing. What is the knower? It is the same consciousness with an overlay of ego and the instruments of knowledge, epistemological instruments like eyes and ears or inference. Using the instruments of knowledge, the ego, illumined by the consciousness. The ego says, I know this, I see this, I read that, I heard that, I asked Google. So, I have knowledge, I am a knower. What's happening? Consciousness is illumining this. Or the ego may say, that thing I do not know. There are many, many things which I do not know. That also is being illumined by consciousness. In consciousness alone we are knowers. In consciousness alone we are ignorant. Consciousness illumines knowledge. Consciousness illumines ignorance. Consciousness illumines the known object. Consciousness illumines all objects which are unknown also. This is something that we need to wrap our heads around. This is a subtle matter. To illustrate this, I give an example. Our senior-most member in Vedanta Society of New York is Bill Conrad. He's 101 this year. And he's a physicist. So he says, it's not true that the world is in consciousness, Swami. The world exists. He's a realist. The world exists. And then we come as conscious beings and we experience the world. Common sense. I will prove it to you, Swami. This room, it exists outside our consciousness. It's not that it exists in our consciousness. I will put a camera here and we will both leave the room and I will invite you to come back into the room and I will show you the pictures in the camera which show an empty room, which existed without any conscious being. The room exists, the world exists by itself, and we come to it as conscious beings and experience it. This is called realism. The world exists beyond consciousness. Matter exists apart from consciousness, separate. I said to him, Bill, in your consciousness you dreamt up this experiment. In your consciousness, you put a camera. In your consciousness, you invited me outside the room. In your consciousness, we come back into the room, and in your consciousness, you show me the camera with the pictures of an empty room. At which point did you step outside your consciousness? Is it indeed even possible? Let's try to wrap our head. It's in one sense a simple thing, but it's difficult sometimes to get our heads around it. But he's a very sharp man. He became thoughtful. And somebody told me, it's the first time in 60 years somebody has been able to quieten him. So, I'll give you another example. In our dreams, suppose you're in a dream walking around beautiful, the Hollywood Reservoir, the Hollywood sign out there, and you know beyond the hills, LA is there, Los Angeles and so on. There's a whole world there. You don't know that you are dreaming. Now, in your dream, you will see there is something known and something unknown. You will feel, I see the reservoir, I see the Hollywood sign, and I know beyond this is a vast city which I do not see. There is a whole world. There's so many things in this world and this universe which I do not know. But the moment I wake up, I will realize all that I saw and knew were in that dream, and all that I felt was unknown, the vast unknown world. The known and the unknown were both in my mind. In the dreamer's mind. In the dream world, whatever is known and whatever seems to be unknown is presented as the known and the unknown. The whole thing is a projection in the dreamer's mind, is a part of the dream. Exactly like that. What Vedanta proposes is, Consciousness is other than the known and the unknown. The known and the unknown are illumined in consciousness by consciousness. They are appearances in consciousness. Only a slice of whatever appears in consciousness is known. If you see it, you know it. If you read about it, you do experiments about it, if you believe it, you know it in some sense. And there are lots and lots of, right here, there are lots and lots of things which are unknown. They are in the tiny microscopic scale. There are so many bacteria and other creatures which we don't see. It's unknown to us. There are molecules and atoms and subatomic particles which we don't experience right now. It's in a sense, it's unknown to us. What's happening on the far side of the moon is unknown to us. What's happening right outside the hall is unknown to us. And yet, it is unknown to us in consciousness. If it becomes known, what will it be? Will it be, I will know something outside consciousness, or it will be another conscious experience? It will be another conscious experience. When a thing becomes known, it will appear in consciousness only. So whatever is known and whatever is unknown, both are illumined by consciousness and both are appearances in consciousness. This is a thing to sort of stop and think about. In that case, the entire universe of discourse, whatever we are speaking about, are appearances in consciousness. That is the deeper meaning of consciousness is other than the known, other than the unknown. It is to consciousness that some things are known. It is to consciousness that some things are unknown. People might ask this question. If everything is in consciousness, why don't I know everything? If I am consciousness and everything is in my consciousness, then why don't I know everything? I should know everything. No. Consciousness and knowledge are not the same thing. In consciousness, you will know some things and you will not know other things. Some things are the object of knowledge and some things are the object of ignorance in consciousness. But they are all, as the known and as the unknown, they're presented to consciousness. It's worth wrapping our minds around this. Now we go deeper. Consciousness, this light of lights, being other than the known, being other than all objects known and all unknown objects, is not limited by any object. Consciousness being other than time, known and unknown, the vast past and the future which we do not know, we only know a little bit, a slice. The time which is known and the time which is unknown. Consciousness which knows some space and the vast space which is unknown. All space known and unknown. Consciousness illumines these. Therefore, consciousness is not limited by space. Space is an appearance in consciousness. Space, both known and unknown, is an appearance in consciousness. Time, both known and unknown, is an appearance in consciousness. It has to be. Everything is an appearance in consciousness. And all objects, known and unknown, are appearances in consciousness. Not being limited by space, this consciousness with a capital C is all pervasive. Not being limited by time, this consciousness with a capital C is eternal. And most remarkably, not being limited by object, known and unknown. Not being limited by object means there is no object other than which constitutes a second to consciousness. You know what I mean by not being limited by object? It's like this. Think of the water in the Pacific Ocean there. Thousands and thousands of waves. But none of the waves constitute a limit to water. So you see the waves. There's water in those waves, if you can speak that way. But outside the waves, in the next wave, there's the same water. And on this side also the same water. From that side also. From the water's perspective, no wave is a barrier to it. Water will not say, I stop here and the wave starts there. No. I am outside the wave, I am inside the wave, I am beyond the wave too. The wave appears in me. Similarly, when we say all objects appear in consciousness, they are like waves in the ocean of consciousness. They do not constitute a countable second apart from consciousness. No wave in that ocean constitutes a countable second apart from the water. If you ask how many waves are there, you might say 10,000 waves. I said, other than the water, how many waves are there? None. If you count water, water plus how many waves? None. Because the water is all the waves. With respect to water, the waves are non-dual. They do not constitute a second thing apart from the water. With respect to consciousness, objects are non-dual. Consciousness is non-dual in the sense that the objects do not constitute a countable second. They are all appearances in consciousness. They constitute waves. They are constituted of consciousness. Let me put it this way. All objects known and unknown are appearances in consciousness. Consciousness is not limited by them. All objects, individual, what is called in Sanskrit, vyashti, individual. And the totality of all objects, they are all appearances in consciousness. The presence of all objects and the absence of all objects are appearances in consciousness. Consciousness with a capital C. Therefore, being eternal with respect to time, consciousness is nityam, eternal. Not limited by space, consciousness is all-pervading, which is called sarvavyapi. And not being non-dual with respect to objects, consciousness is advaitam, non-duality. This non-dual consciousness. This is the deeper meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. What was the first meaning? That in every experience, by definition, there has to be consciousness. So we can use every experience to reflexively see that I am consciousness. Every experience reveals to me that I am consciousness. But now we go deeper. What are the objects being experienced in consciousness? Since they do not constitute a countable second to consciousness, they must be consciousness. Therefore, another meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. In every experience, consciousness alone is revealed. I see a man, I see a woman, I see a table, a chair, a plant, a planet, a quasar, a quark. And Vedanta says you see consciousness, consciousness, consciousness in the names and forms of all of these. This is another meaning, a deeper meaning of pratibodha viditam matam. In every experience, Brahman alone is revealed. Consciousness alone is revealed. The Atman, Atme Vedam Sarvam. The self alone is all of this. Ramana Maharshi, I read this recently. He says, the universe is the expansion of the self. Therefore, first find out who am I. The universe will explain itself. This one consciousness, pratibodha viditam matam. Every experience reveals Brahman to you. On both sides. I, as the consciousness, experiencing, therefore, Brahman is revealed. But what I am experiencing, that's also Brahman. Pratibodha viditam matam. Now let's think about this. This consciousness with a capital C, which is non-dual, which is eternal, which is all-pervasive, is it an individual sentient being? Is it a jiva? We are not eternal. As individual beings, we don't feel eternal. As individual beings, we don't feel all-pervasive. No matter how obese I am, I'm not all-pervasive. We are not non-dual. We find thousands of other beings. We are not non-dual. But this consciousness is non-dual. It's all-pervasive. It is eternal. Therefore, it's not a sentient being. This consciousness we are talking about, this non-dual consciousness, is not an individual sentient being. It's not a jiva. It's not even the world appearance, jagat. And we are not talking about God either, Ishvara. Think about it. We talk for this consciousness, it's other than the known, other than the unknown. But for God, everything is the known. There's no unknown. God is omniscient. There's no unknown for God. So God is omniscient. We are not talking about God here. We are not talking about the jiva here. We are not talking about the world here. Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. They are all grounded in this one consciousness. What we are talking about is Nirguna Brahman. This is the Nirguna Brahman of Advaita Vedanta. Devoid of all attributes, of all adjectives, of all qualities. Calling it consciousness because it powers all our experiences. That's why we are calling it consciousness. But that's just a way of attributing something to it. But by itself, you can't say anything about it. This Nirguna Brahman. But then we'll say, hey, wait a minute. But I thought we were talking about myself. We are. You are this Nirguna Brahman. This is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. Pratibodha viditam matam leads us to this. That I am the Nirguna Brahman, in which the triad, the triangle of Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara are appearing and disappearing. Beyond the world, beyond individuality, beyond even the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent Ishvara is the ground of all of this, which is the Nirguna Brahman. This is the deepest. And when you excavate the meaning of pratibodha viditam matam, this is what comes up. Realize this, and it is done. Of course, there's a question of living in the light of this realization. That is called Jivan Mukti. So this is the grand climax of the Upanishad. I will not push it any further. We'll have a few questions before we wrap up. And should we go into the question answer Q&A session? All right then. Thank you. Yes, as I said yesterday, you have to be aggressive about raising your hand. And those who asked the questions yesterday and did not get a chance, is anybody present here? Yes, this young man here.
I wasn't here yesterday.
Oh.
I still...
No, you have to catch his attention. All right.
Hello, hi. My name is Nima. I'm from San Diego.
Yes.
You mentioned Nirguna Brahma and like Ishvara. Is Ishvara separate from the ultimate reality Brahman, or is it one and the same as the ultimate reality?
It's the one and the same. It's the ultimate reality under the technical term is Upadhi. It's the same reality. After all, you are same with Nirguna Brahman. I am same with Nirguna Brahman. Why leave poor Ishvara out in the cold? From an Advaitic perspective, Ishvara, Jiva, Jagat, we are all one with Nirguna Brahman, but under various what are called limiting adjuncts. So for that Nirguna Brahman, with the adjunct of Maya, is called Ishvara. So Ishvara is Nirguna Brahman, and Ishvara all the time knows that I am Nirguna Brahman. So it's fully enlightened all the time. But Ishvara has the Upadhi, the adjunct of Maya, which makes Ishvara all-powerful. Sri Ramakrishna explained it in this way. The cobra, with a single bite, with a tiny bit of the poison that it has, it can knock out a frog or a mouse which it wants to eat, its prey. But all the poison is in the glands, in the mouth of that cobra, and it doesn't do anything to that cobra. So it is the power of the cobra. But for the little mouse or the frog, it is deadly. There's a definition. The Maya Upahita Chaitanya is Ishvara. Ishvara is that pure consciousness, Nirguna Brahman, in association with Maya. Yeah. Anyone? Gentleman there.
Namaste, Swamiji. My name is Shyam. I was
Yes.
reflecting on last week's lecture about the message of the Upanishads.
Yes.
And you mentioned that the message can be condensed in various ways, like the Mahavakyas,
Yes.
the sound of Om, and the Chinmudra, and silence. My question is on silence. How is the teaching of the Upanishad embodied in silence? Is there a deeper meaning to silence?
Yes.
And is it more of a meditative aspect? And how is knowledge transmitted in silence?
I have to remain silent about that. Yeah. See, when you say Om, the first part of it represents consciousness with the mind and the body and this waking world. This is the part of it. And then the interim part of it, part of it, is when we fall asleep and we exist in the realm of the mind, a world of dreams. That is that symbolizes that or denotes that. And then that is when we withdraw into the seed state, deep sleep. When I have no experience of being a subject experiencing object, just blank. But it's a seed state, because they're going to come out of that again. So this is Om. But beyond the there's a silence. And that silence represents the fourth, which is Turiya, which is the underlying one consciousness. So how does it represent that, if you ask? It is because, think of the deepest possible silence, the silence of the world. Forget the world forgotten. Still the body utterly. Deepen the breath until slowly the breath slows down and even stops. No speech external, no speech internal. Let the mind stop. No memory, no sensation, no thinking internally. And when everything is erased in the deepest possible silence, in the utter stillness and silence, to what is that silence appearing? That is it. Once you grasp that, then you have to drop that also. Then the mind plunges. It will automatically, if you do it seriously, the mind will go into samadhi.
Thank you so much, Swami. I have a question about sort of grace in the path of realization, because of course, Thakur, everyone says, right, it sort of realization comes down to grace ultimately. But thinking about it, that in the path of knowledge, it sort of arguably could make kind of the path of self-inquiry like a very scholarly propitiation. If it's like grace is the interventionist, but. I guess I was thinking and thinking about that, I was sort of assuming that grace presumes a certain duality between a giver and receiver, but then wondering like that maybe that is wrong, and among others is actually like the duality between grace and not grace, and if so, then sort of removing the illusion of that duality, and if not grace, which sort of brings grace kind of ever-present and not interventionist. Mm-hmm. And so that might be totally wacky, but how you bring those together.
No, it's not wacky. It's actually the case. That is the case. Sri Ramakrishna said the wind of grace is ever blowing. You have to raise your sail to catch the wind of grace. So God is ever ready to be full of grace to us. Even in this Upanishad which we're talking about, in the end comes grace. The god Indra, the king of gods, is waiting for enlightenment, and the divine mother Uma Hemavati appears to him and reveals this is Brahman. So Indra realizes Brahman by the grace of the divine mother. Once the holy mother Ma Sharada, she said, ask Rakhal Swami Brahmananda, who was regarded as the spiritual son of Sri Ramakrishna, a fully enlightened being, why do you worship the divine mother? And he immediately sent back word saying that the keys to the realization of Brahman, the keys to enlightenment are in the hands of the Divine Mother, which she embodies grace. So, one of the most radical non-dual texts, the Avadhuta Gitas, the first verse is, Ishvara anugraha deva pumsam advaita vasana. It is by the special grace of God that you have even a liking for non-duality. So, God gives you grace to take you beyond God. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Maharaj,
true, sounds paradoxical, but the ultimate reality being non-dual, there is only one limitless existence consciousness place. This is what we have talked about, is non-dual consciousness. Who is to perform action? For what purpose? For what result? If the whole point is that I am already that, and somehow or the other, we do not know how. We do not know that. And that accounts for the mess we are in. So the only thing that can save us and help us is the knowledge of my own already pre-existing reality. I'm beginning to sound like the TSA, pre-boarding and stuff like that. So the pre-existing reality, I am Brahman, this has to be revealed to me, and this can only be done by knowledge. So, Vedanta Jnana. One sadhu put it so beautifully, I remember. Kaun bachayega aapko Mahatma ji? Raja bachayenge, Seth ji bachayenge, Pandit bachayega. Who is going to save you, O monk? Will the king save you? That means power. Will the businessman, the rich man save you? That means money. Will the Pandit, the scholar save you? That means learning. What's going to save you? He says, none of them will save you. It is only this Vedantic realization which will save you. So, knowledge is required. Therefore, Shankaracharya takes... we often forget the context of Shankaracharya's opposition, this grand opposition of knowledge and action. And this is what Bhutteshan is referring to, because he is talking about Shankara's interpretation, the opposition of knowledge and action. That's because he was speaking in the context of the old Mimamsakas, who said the whole purpose of all the Vedas, including the Upanishads and the Kenopanishad, the whole purpose is action. Amnayasya kriyarthatvat anarthakyam atadarthanam. Because all the Vedic sentences, the purport of all Vedic sentences is to perform actions, rituals. If any sentence in the Vedas do not contribute towards the performing of rituals, then they are meaningless. So what about you are Brahman? You are that, I am Brahman. What about these sentences? Well, they have to be connected to some ritual. Just think that I am Brahman, then you can do a lot more fire rituals. You'll be more confident, Not that you are actually Brahman. You are just this guy. So that's how they interpreted it. And Shankaracharya said, look, that's true for the ritualistic portion. When we think we are this body and mind, I think I am the doer of actions. I am the experiencer of the results of my actions. Then you can tell me to perform these rituals. It makes sense for me. But if I am not the doer, if I am not the experience of the result of my actions, I am limitless consciousness. Then what ritual should I perform? What action can I even perform? Is it possible? It does not apply to me then. That is the thing he was talking about. Remember, Shankaracharya was not against our day-to-day activities. He was one of the most active people you ever saw in history. Every moment of his young life, up to the age of 32 when he passed away, he was intensely busy. If he was against day-to-day activity, then he wouldn't have done any of that. He would have sat in a cave in the Himalayas. So, activity at the level of the body, activity at the level of the mind. Shankaracharya is not speaking about that. Shankaracharya is speaking about the ultimate reality, pure consciousness, which is beyond action, beyond subject, object, beyond agent of action, action and results of action. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. Vivekananda puts it very clearly. Good, good, bad, bad, and none escape the law. Whosoever wears a form wears the chain too. But far beyond name and form is Atman ever free. No, thou art that sannyasi bold. Say Om Tat Sat Om. So, as long as I'm identified, wearing this form, that means I think I am this guy. I am in the realm of action. Even if I study Vedanta, that's action for me. But if I realize I am limitless consciousness, from that perspective, I do not do it. Nor can I do anything, nor do I need to do anything, nor can anything be done at all. It's beyond all action. Only in that. He is speaking it in a metaphysical sense. And the path to that realization certainly is paved with action. We must purify our minds. Vivekananda says the only thing that we can do is polish the mirror. All that we can do is polish the mirror. So we must polish the mirror. That's action. Karma yoga is action. We must control the mind in meditation. Meditation is also an action. Devotional practices, those are also actions. The whole path is paved by action until the generation of that knowledge, which will sublate the whole thing. And you see the reality underneath, that it is all Brahman. Yeah. Somebody here?
Swami, namaste. My question is more on Ishvara, so I want to stress a bit on that. So Brahman, like you say, simple fellow, blazing forth, pretty obvious. And
Brahman is pretty obvious. That's good for you if it's pretty obvious.
I mean, with your explanations, yes.
Think well again. Mimamsya Maripate.
Yes. Then I, as a limited being,
Yes.
looks obvious to me,
Yes.
right? Body and everything. But this Ishvara looks more complicated. If I ask anyone, did you experience? No one has an answer. Everyone points to probably Ramakrishna, Paramahansa, saying, yeah, he experienced, so he's there. So there is that leap of faith always.
Always.
So how do we realize that Ishvara in practice? Or
Ishvara is realized through devotion. By faith, devotion, prayer, and by the grace of Ishvara. So Ishvara can give both kinds of knowledge. See, the grace question, you raised the grace question. Ultimately, when we get the enlightenment that I am Brahman, you will see at that point, we didn't do it by our own efforts. It was given to us. It becomes very clear at that point. I didn't come to it by my own. I made my own efforts. That's important, because that shows I want it. Our efforts just signal to God that I want it. If it signals strongly enough, it will catch God's attention, and God. Sri Ramakrishna says, when a child, mother is very busy, and the child is nagging the mother, give me the money, I want to buy this kite or this toy. And she, with annoyance, she throws a few cents at him. The Divine Mother is like that. If you annoy her long enough, give me enlightenment, give me enlightenment, give me enlightenment, nag, 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 she'll toss enlightenment. It's very easy for her. So that's what she does. By the grace of Ishvara, one can have Brahma Jnana. In fact, only by the grace of Ishvara. But that we have to signal by our own efforts. You have to watch lots of YouTube videos. That will signal. Yes, when I went back to the monastery last year, there was this very jolly young monk who had just become a monk, a novice. He came to me and with great delight, at last, My YouTube sadhana is complete. You have appeared before me. Said, I had watched many of your talks, many talks before becoming a monk, but I'd never seen you in person. In Hindi, it sounds even funnier in Hindi. And he said, Aaj mera YouTube sadhana samapt hua, aap prakat ho gaye. Yes. Yes.
Pranam Swamiji, and thank you for existing and giving this knowledge to us. I have benefited a lot. So my question is about Nirguna Brahman. So Nirguna Brahman is formless, but we have forms, right?
Yes.
So what is the utility of knowing that? So is it to know that something is vast and exists everywhere, but as living forms and bodies, we should be more identified with Saguna Brahman? So Saguna Brahman has more utility over Nirguna Brahman. Is that the way to understand?
Okay, there are many questions. You have to unpack it. Does Saguna Brahman have more utility? Certainly. Nirguna Brahman is useless. Actually, that's a technical word. Avyavaharyam, non-transactional. So Nirguna Brahman is utterly useless. Now, but it has one great advantage. It is you. We are not these bodies and minds. We are Nirguna Brahman. You are Nirguna Brahman. I am that. And that is the meaning of Aham Brahmasmi. You cannot be identified with Saguna Brahman. Saguna Brahman is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent. Shankaracharya sings, the waves belong to the ocean. The ocean never belongs to the waves. Ocean is Saguna Brahman. The waves are sentient beings like us. We are part of the ocean. But Nirguna Brahman is the very water in which the ocean and the waves all appear. So you are water. But don't extend it too far. Because then you will say, yeah, but the wave has little water, ocean has more water. There's no more or less in Nirguna Brahman. You are, I would hesitate to say all of it. You are it. That's it. So you are Nirguna Brahman. You are not this little being. That's what the whole teaching is. Pratibodha viditam matam. Every experience should tell us, I am Nirguna Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. This is choicelessly, effortlessly, continuously being revealed to us. Vivekananda calls it the open secret. That I am Nirguna Brahman. Yes. One more?
Pranam Swamiji. My name is Raghu. I'm from the Bay Area. My question is regarding free will. So in the Vyavaharika Satya, the free will exists, I believe. That's what I understand. So the fact that I'm here listening to you in the Vedanta Center, is it my free will or is it part of my karmas from the past?
It's interesting that the enlightened ones have no interest in free will question. We have interest in free will question because it sounds paradoxical. Yes. So the short answer, it's a very deep question. Even in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, the discussions about free will, it comes up in different civilizations, different religions, different theologies, philosophies. The question of free will keep coming up. How far are we free in doing what we are doing? We have to assume free will. Our consumer choice in the supermarket assumes free will. Advertisers, ironically, assume free will. That's what they're trying to influence. Our politics assumes free will. You're free to vote. Your economics, your law assumes free will. That's why somebody's punished and somebody's rewarded. Because freely, out of my own free will, I did something wrong. Then I deserve to be punished. If I am reduced capacity to act is an argument lawyers use to protect their clients from punishment. So free will is assumed in every aspect of life, and it is assumed in religion. There's no use teaching religion, do's and don'ts, morality, ethics, unless you assume some free will. It's only when you assume I am free to accept your advice, then only advice makes a difference. I am free. However, this assumption of free will upon investigation, if you investigate it through neuroscience, philosophy, religion, all of them, it seems to be, they are telling us we don't have free will. It's very paradoxical. There's that Sapolsky, determined, he written a big book. He's somewhere here in Stanford. Somebody, a reviewer said, if you look at him, he looks like a typical West Coast loser. But he's a brilliant man. He's a professor at Stanford and slacker, not loser. Slacker, not loser. West Coast slacker. And he says, upon the latest discoveries in neuroscience and neurophilosophy, you come to it's determined we don't have free will. So that's what philosophy reveals to us, neuroscience reveals to us. Now what's Vedanta's take on this? Vedanta's take is that you use the appearance of free will and acknowledge the truth about free will, that we don't have free will. So the result is surrender. Surrender. It is your will, thy will. And then go on doing, using the appearance of free will which we have. One thing you are not free to do is not to have free will. That you are not free. Yes. Last, one more.
One on this side?
One on this side.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Been raising his hand since yesterday.
That is true. So I have a couple of questions about...
One question.
One, sorry. Well, yeah. So my question is centered a little bit on Sri Ramakrishna's realization journey. A lot of the time, his thing was that he came to the same realization of the ultimate truth of consciousness, right, through multiple different religions, right? My question is, how is it possible for one to re-realize true consciousness?
I'm sorry?
What I mean by this is Sri Ramakrishna realized he made his initial realization of consciousness, right? Mm-hmm. And then afterwards went on a journey through multiple different religions and came to the same conclusion that all religions will lead to the same realization of consciousness.
Yes.
My question is, how is that possible?
Why is that not possible?
Because he has already come to that realization, no? How is it possible to re-realize that, start from nothing and re-realize?
So here this... Swami Vivekananda said he had this remarkable capacity to fill the bucket and empty it. So he would empty himself of his it's not easy at all. For us, it might take a lifetimes to walk on one path and realize by that. But to instantly dump everything and throw yourself entirely into a new mold, this was something incredible that Sri Ramakrishna had. It's not ordinary. So he would forego everything and sincerely follow a new path. He followed Islam, he followed Christianity, he followed Tantra, he followed Vaishnava Bhakti to Krishna Bhakti, Rama Bhakti, he followed the path of Advaita Vedanta. So all of these, and he kept coming back to that we are experiencing. When you say the same realization, you have to be careful. It's not literally the same realization. It's that every path is nuanced. It gives you a different aspect of that. But he said we are coming back to the same reality. There are all different paths bringing you back to one underlying reality. So it's possible. I see what you're saying. In our case, it might be a confirmation bias. That I have realized it. Now I feel everything is pointing to the same realization which I have. No, in his case, he was able to empty the bucket and then fill it up with the new path, new teachings, new approach to God. So that's how he did it.
We're all very grateful to revered Sarvapriyananda for an amazing series of talks. He gave a talk last week here. He gave a talk in Santa Barbara, 2 talks here as well. So every time he comes, we really put him to work, and we appreciate that. And we hope you will come again soon, Maharaj. I'm going to hand it over to revered Sarvapriyananda for the closing benediction.
So we got only to come and go is not the purpose. We have to have pratibodha viditam. That's the goal. That is to be achieved. And we have heard how to do it, how to think about that, how to deepen our understanding. So if one of us at least can be grounded on this experience, every bodha, every experience is that consciousness. What a grand idea, no? So thank Swami for giving this grand idea. It is there, but to ignite that idea again and again is a great thing in our life. So thank all of you for coming, and thank Swami for coming over here, even within a short period of 2 days. We make him work hard. So hope to see the Swami again when he comes next, maybe at the end of the year. So you will know then. And thank you all for coming.
Can we do the peace chant? Peace chant. Chant.
Peace Kore.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu. Thank you.
Gamayo, Mritturma Amritam Gamayo, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O Lord, lead us from unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, from ignorance to knowledge. And O Lord, lead us from death to immortality. Om peace, peace, peace. A very good evening to you all. Namaskar. It's nice to have this privilege to spend some time on the Viveka Chudamani, a Vedantic treatise written by none other than Sri Shankaracharya, that Advaita philosophy, founder of this Advaita Vada. So, I've got a stopgap class today. So, Revered Sarvapriyananda asked me have a class, something on Vedanta. So I immediately thought, all right, it will be good. If you like, this crest jewel of discrimination, Viveka Chudamani. And this Shankaracharya is a wonderful life. Not only a monk, he is the avatar of Shiva. And he was born to achieve this goal, to establish the Advaita Vedanta in the minds of the then so-called religious people in the name of Hinduism who forgot the Vedanta and Vedic culture, Vedic ideology, thought, and doing some kind of worship and home sacrifices. Sometimes it was horrible, being influenced by the Buddhism and its Tantra and many other things. So he took the responsibility to clean it and bring back the glorious Vedic culture and understanding. So his life was wonderful. Beautiful and fantastic clouds of legend surround the austere, charming, boyish figure of Shankara, a saint, a philosopher, and a poet. He wrote so many stotras, not only on Advaita, he was a bhakta also. So many stotras he wrote for Shiva, for Bhavani, Bhavanashtakam. So it is not that he was not a devotee, but he had to establish the supremacy of this Advaita philosophy so that the whole world cannot defend it, cannot question it. That if ultimate reality is one, and in the name of ritualistic worship and many other things, horrible things we have made, so it should be cleansed very clearly. So he did it and did everything. He was born, wonderful life, around 686 or 87, 88 he was born in a South Indian state, Kerala, a village. Name is Kaladi. We have an ashram, Ramakrishna Mission has got a center there, the birthplace of Shankaracharya. So, at the age of 10, he mastered all the scriptures. He was a prodigy. So, and he wanted to take sannyas after his father passed away. And indeed, the whole society in which he lived was materialistic and pleasure-seeking. India was passing through a period of spiritual decadence. Shankara, burning with youthful zeal, resolved to make his own life an example which would lead men back to the paths of truth. So he was born for that, and seeking the permission from mother. And wonderful composition, I am quoting. At this period his father died. The boy puzzled over the riddle of life and death and determined to solve it. He would renounce everything in his search for the meaning of existence. It was then that he wrote the poem called Moho Mudgaram. Wonderful poem, but it is outwardly it will sound that, is it possible to follow all these dictums, these principles, messages? It is only for those all-renouncing monks. We cannot do it. But actually, his message was very clear-cut. Whether you are in a monastic life or whether you in any sphere of life, there are 4 stages of Hindu society life. What are those? Brahmacharya, then Garhastha, then Vanaprastha, then Sannyasa. Sannyasa is the final for having the emancipation. But you have to begin your life as a brahmachari, controlling your senses, learning, respectful to your teachers, father, mother, doing your duties to the society and the seniors, and acquiring knowledge and living a pure life, thinking on God, not being materialistic. Life is there, you live that, but don't put matter over the spirit. Matter is there, and that is, he will prove that this is illusion, that is a delusion, that is out of our Maya, this great illusion. We are always trying to seek joy and happiness through materialistic pursuits and physical enjoyments, sense enjoyments, which never can be. Ultimate goal, reality, is the spirit, and if you want to have eternal joy, peace, happiness, then you have to seek for that. You will be seeking always the physical, sensual, materialistic pleasures, and you will be absorbed fully with that ultimate bliss. That cannot be. So he was very clear about that. Just a few lines I quote because I feel tempted to all these wonderful things. Ideas are there. At the age of 10, see what kind of this stotra, this poem he composed. The Mohamudgaram meaning is the shattering of illusion. How we can come out of this great illusion, moha, and follow the real path, ideal path, correct path, genuine path to reach the goal of human life. Who is thy wife? Literal, here is a more or less literal translation of that Mohamudgaram. Wonderful. Who is thy wife? Who is thy son? The ways of this world are strange indeed. Whose art thou? Whence art thou come? Vast is thy ignorance, my beloved. Therefore, ponder these things and worship the Lord. Behold the folly of man. In childhood, busy with his toys. In youth, bewitched by love. In age, bowed down with cares. And always unmindful of the Lord. The hours fly, the seasons roll, life ebbs, but the breeze of hope blows continually in his heart. So, in this way, it is going on. Finally, his final stanza is, seek neither peace nor strife, with kith or kin, with friend or foe. O beloved, if thou wouldst attain freedom, be equal unto all. Thy son may bring thee suffering. Thy wealth is no assurance of heaven. Therefore, be not vain of thy wealth, or of thy family, or of thy youth. All are fleeting, all must change. Know this and be free. Enter the joy of the Lord. So, these are the wonderful words and ideas which he himself thought that was the correct one. And he has to preach it, he has to establish this idea as he was thinking after his father's death, that what is this life? Life is this, everything is transitory. Father, mother, everything will go one day, nobody will be with us. So, afterwards he composed another wonderful stotra which Swami Vivekananda was so fond of and translated himself, and asked that all sadhu brahmacharis, not only that, any Vedanta student should memorize this Nirvana Shatkam. What is that? Mano buddhahankara chittani naham nacha shrutra jive nacha grhano netre nacha bomu bhumir na tejo na vayush chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. What is the meaning? Meaning is, I am neither the mind nor the intellect nor the ego nor the mind stuff. I am neither the body nor the change of the body. I am changes of the body. I am neither the senses of hearing, taste, smell or sight, nor am I the ether, the earth, the fire, the air. I am existence, absolute knowledge, absolute bliss, absolute. I am he, Shivoham, Shivoham. So, this wonderful poem, this slokas Nirvana Shatakam, he composed. Final is, I am untouched by the senses, I am neither mukti nor knowledge, I am without form, without limit, beyond space, beyond time, I am in everything, I am the basis of the universe, everything, everywhere am I am existence, knowledge, bliss, every stanza, I am neither death nor fear of death, nor caste, nor was I ever born, nor had I parents, friends and relations, I have neither guru nor disciple, I am neither sin nor virtue, neither pleasure nor pain, nor temple nor worship, nor pilgrimage, nor scriptures, neither the act of enjoying, the enjoyable, nor the enjoyer. I have neither aversion nor attachment, neither greed nor delusion, neither egotism nor envy, neither dharma nor moksha. I am neither the prana nor the 5 vital airs. I am neither the materials of the body nor the 5 sheaths, Neither am I the organs of action nor object of the senses. I am here, I am here. So this wonderful, his feeling, what is Vedas Upanishads? The experiences of spiritual experiences, ecstatic experiences of the rishis and munis. Rishi means seer of the truth. What they knew to be the universal truth. All other things are fleeting, coming, going, coming, going. This body was not there one day before I was born. And when it was born, this 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, now 1 day it will. Jayate, vardhate, vikriyate, nashrate. Finally 6 changes are there. It will happen. So whichever is changes cannot be eternal. So there is only one essence is there. One reality is there. So why you are getting attached to those which are every moment changing, then you will not be able to go beyond this suffering. Birth and death and suffering always. But actually you do not know that your existence, absolute bliss, absolute and knowledge absolute. And you are searching it outside. All these things. You are all these things. There is nothing else. You have to know it. And it is not something superimposition. Its superimposition is the whole world you are thinking those things are real. Thinking the unreal thing real, you are, that is superimposition, which is not there. A snake is there, but you are saying, oh God, it is a snake. But a rope is there, you are telling it is a snake. Actually, in reality, you are Atman, or you are thinking I am body. Name, Naam, Roop, this is called Upadhi. Why it has happened? We are attached to our Upadhi. We are that Satchit Ananda Swarupa of the nature of the absolute love, joy, bliss, knowledge, consciousness and existence. I am never was born. I was never born and never will I die. These things overnight will not come. It needs certain preparation. So this book, Viveka Chudamani, the meaning of the book also is wonderful. Viveka means this faculty of discrimination. What is real, what is unreal. To understand that is Viveka. To discriminate right and wrong, real and unreal. Many things we know. But is it always correct that what we know? Many things afterwards, we discovered that that idea was wrong. Even scientists, every now and then, new finding comes, they say, no, this atom is the E-most, smallest E. Then they will break that, no, there is electron, proton, neutron. So something new they get, they say, no, smaller than that also is there. Anything new comes, they change there. No, we are sorry. At that time we knew up to that. Shankaracharya's idea is this, you are that changeless, you will never be changed. Know that. And if you can know that, in this material world, material knowledge, whatever you may acquire, it will not give you the final knowledge, ultimate knowledge, which actually will shatter all your bondages and this idea of suffering, ego, these things. So this from Advaita Vedantic point, he wanted to establish his theories, and he went to his guru, Gaudapada, his guru's guru. Gaudapada said, no, I am in a vow that I will not talk, I will be always absorbed in that meditation. He saw that it is possible not to think of one's own self as the body and the mind. Whole life they're spending, feeling Jivan Mukta Atman. Atman, Brahman, this identical. This Jivatman, this the spark which is here, it is not separate from that. It is not something different. It is non-different with that ultimate Brahman reality. So he saw this, his guru's guru. He sent him to his guru Gaudapada. So he went to Gaudapada sent him to Govindapada, his guru, and Govindapada initiated him. Within a very short time, Govindapada initiated him and instructed him in meditation and the whole process of yoga. Within a very short time, Shankara achieved complete mystical realization and himself went out to teach. So, he traveled all over India and set up different maths and monasteries, and this Dashanami Sampradaya also, this sadhus, he codified everything and wrote several books, this commentaries on Gita, commentaries on Upanishad, and on Brahma Sutra also, this Brahma Sutra. So these are called. I will prove that ultimate reality is one and the only one, and thou art that. And his philosophy was nothing that Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. This whole world we see, we think this universe, creation is something, God is something separate, creation is something separate, I am also separate. Jagadishvara, the creator, Jagat, this universe, and Jiva, myself. So we think these three, his Shankara's philosophy is very simple. No, there is only one reality, and thou art that. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya Jiva Brahmaiva Napara. You yourself as Jiva, individual soul, is none other than that ultimate Brahman. It is, you are seeing I am separate, I am body, I am this, I am that, my name is this, my form is this. Nama and Rupa. Rupa means form, Nama means name. Name and form making you, these are out of your Maya, ignorance. You are doing all these things. Actually, that one reality is there. All other things are mithya, means that you are under that illusion, great illusion. You are thinking. It is Maya. It is not there. Whatever you are seeing, this is the manifestation of that ultimate reality. It is not a chair. It is not a table. It is not a mic. It is not a body. So he logically, rationally established that. And this Viveka Churamuni, Viveka discrimination, have that discrimination. Chura means speak. Viveka is not an ordinary mind. Viveka means this faculty of discrimination. Right, wrong, you understand. Real, unreal. Good, bad. Up, down. That understanding speak. Chura. Muni, a gem. A gem of the highest knowledge of discrimination, if you make the meaning of this book, Viveka Chudamani. The crest jewel of discrimination. Crest jewel. Discriminative faculty is very important. This is not an ordinary, it's something dull and foolish. You have the power. With that faculty you say right, wrong, good, bad, everything you understand. And that also, many things we understand superfluously, many things, but something we know very nicely. So, all your discriminative pursuits and understanding, it is the peak. And on the peak also, there is a gem, a jewel, crest jewel of discrimination, the name of this book. So what he did, he understood that ordinary people will not be able to understand all the things what I have given in the Brahma Sutra, Bhashya there, and commentaries on Gita and on Upanishads. He did. I have done all these things, but people with common understanding may not understand all those philosophical discussions. It will be very difficult, but I should write something, compose something, so that people with common understanding, ordinary, so-called ordinary understanding, also common people also lucidly can understand that. What is that? This is this Viveka Chudamani. So one after another, he depicted in a way, he has made this, planned it, the Chala, disciple is asking question and Guru is answering the question. Just the three questions are there. What is this human predicament, this suffering, all these things? What about the God? And how to reach that goal? Hey, all this simple question, and Guru, he has become both the disciple and the Guru, answering. Question also he is putting, answer also he is giving, so that we common people understand many of the answer of the questions that arises in our mind, and we do not know the answer. But he is putting the questions forward as the disciple and giving the answer also, to make it very clear, and so that common people can understand this. So this is Shankaracharya's wonderful book, and he in this book begins with a mantra by making pranams to his guru. In this book there are so many things. Gradually it is there. This invocation, then greatness of abiding in Brahman, means of knowledge, who is competent. Yes, you want to know, but who is competent? Anything and everything one cannot understand. We had a vice president, my Holy Mother's disciple, Swami Vivekananda ji. He was a very University Blue, a friend of this Bosch, one scientist, this Boson, that invention, this E is equal to mc square. What is the name of that? Einstein, and he, you see, Einstein is indebted to him for this. So, Satyendranath Bose, his title was Bose. So, Satyendra, all these long names, so says, hey, Mr. Bose. So, Boson, that particle, Bose, and this Einstein's N, and Bose's Bose. So, it has become boson, this particle. He was a man of that stature. You can put in the same bracket with Einstein. And his friend was one of our sannyasi. He was Holy Mother's disciple. One day they came to Belur Math. Because they were good friends in the university, Calcutta University, so they came. And just as you see, even the friend is a sadhu, the friends take the advantage, cutting joke and making fun. You see what a wonderful student you have been. If you could be also a scientist like us and just engage yourself for the pursuit of the knowledge, you could do something. What? You are sadhu, God you cannot show. What is God? Where is God? Can you show? So friends are taking the liberty, making a little joke, and him, little pinching him and getting fun, making fun. So he was enjoying and telling that in the Belur Math campus, some these daily laborers were cutting the grass and cleaning the area so that devotees can come properly maintained. So he was enjoying the criticisms of the good friends. They were all very scholarly people, scientists, you understand. And he was also one of that circle, very intelligent and of high quality of this, from this physical knowledge of the physical world, science. So his friends were telling him, what? You have spoiled your life. You cannot show. We do something, we can show. This is this. You are giving your life for the pursuit of something which you cannot prove, you cannot show. What a wonderful boy, intelligent boy you have been. You have been our friend and you have led, and what you are, your life is, it is valueless, whatever. So he then showing them, my dear friends, yes, how water is formed? Oxygen and hydrogen, yes, H2, oxygen and hydrogen, yes. If you can mix this, you can have water from oxygen and hydrogen and all that. Those boys are working laborers. Can you make them understand that how water is formed from oxygen and hydrogen? You tell something. How can they will understand what is oxygen, what is hydrogen? How can I make them understand? They are not a student. They have not come to. They do not know anything of oxygen, hydrogen in the laboratory work. You can, from oxygen, hydrogen, you can prepare water. Yes, I can. Can you prepare here? How can I do it here? I need a laboratory. I can do it. Can you teach them how can they understand? Well, you people also, you will not do anything for that spiritual life. Sri Ramakrishna had a laboratory in Dakshineshwar. He did it and he realized, he found that yes, there is God, there is a power, whatever name you may give, but everything is matter. There is no creator outside. There is no such thing, no principle. It is not that. So that was the story. So if you want to know something, you have to have some competence, qualification. So who is competent? The fourfold sadhana. If you want to have the knowledge of this, finally you will become enlightened, illumined. But if you do not have the minimum qualifications, competence to understand all these things and do not do and practice, then how will be? So he's putting the question as a disciple and giving the answer also as the guru, acharya, the teacher. Teacher and the disciple conversation is going on, that is the book, and completely on Vedanta and Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta. Everything else what you are seeing, it is nothing else, only the expression of that. So he had wonderful one stotra I will quote, Dakshinamurti Stotram. It was so nice and grand. Vishang darpana drishamana nagari tullang nijantar gatang Pashanatmani maya bahirivo yadbhutai yatha nidraya yashakshi kurute prabodha samaye swatmanamevadvayam tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshina Murtaye. So his guru he remembered, and the meaning of this stotra is, it is also wonderful, Advaita Vedanta. This Vishwam, this universe created, the whole universe is a creation of the mind. Seeing it outside is Maya. Out of Maya we see it outside. The Jnani does not see it is a chair, it is a table, you are a girl, he is a boy, this is a sadhu, this is a young man, this is an old man, this is a temple, this is... When you will have that illumination, you will find the presence of the same Brahman, and you will feel that you are one with that. You do not have any different identity. So, this mantra is wonderful, that I offer my profound salutation to the auspicious Guru, who is an embodiment of Dakshinamurti, and who knows that this whole universe is a creation of the mind. Seeing it outside is Maya. We are seeing it outside. Actually, we are seeing what is in our mind, we see it outside. There is a story Sri Ramakrishna gave in the Gospel, it is there. At night, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. One sadhu got up, and immediately sadhu was thinking, oh God, it is already 3 o'clock. Oh, and he found in a distant place, it was a moonlit night, that somebody was doing meditation. He was thinking, oh, I am a sadhu, I have left my home and hearth, everything, all the enjoyment, only to take God's name and meditate on God. And now, oh, I have been sleeping and sleeping. Let me go. Who before me got up and meditating. Aha, what a good man, what a good soul, what a saint. I am still not perfect. So let me go and pay my obeisance to that higher, greater soul. So sadhu came to pay homage to that person who was meditating. At the same time, another thief got up. He broke his sleep was broken, and he said, oh God, it is 3 o'clock. When 3 o'clock people start getting up, how can I steal now? I am a thief and I am sleeping. My life is gone. Is it a thief's life that main time I will be sleeping? Oh. And then he found that somebody at a distance, moonlit night, he is doing whatever he has stolen. Now he is trying to see that. Oh God, he is my guru. This thief is a bigger, greater thief, more skilled. And he made his treasure stolen. Now let me go. What he has stolen. At least I get joy in that one of my thief friend has got. Although I could not get anything, this night is futile. So he came to pay homage to his thief friend. And another drunkard, completely drunken before this fortnight, early night, he drank too much and completely lost senses. Now suddenly at 3 o'clock got up and was thinking, oh God, what happened? I lost my consciousness by taking 1 or 2 bottles. I am not a skilled person in that. Then he found, moonlit night, one man is sitting, another drunkard, drinking and still sitting there, not lying, he's senseless. So he was thinking, oh God, let me see my guru. He's a greater drunkard. I should pay homage to him. So he also came to that, pay homage and love, and to see who is greater one. That 2 pegs made him completely losing his consciousness. Now, out of mind, now let me see who is that who could withstand. He was thinking, oh, many are there. Let me see who this good friend is. So all came to the same position, and they found it was a mound of that ants mound. Earth then something they prepare, ants mound. So this whole world is also like that. If you are a thief, you think everyone is stealing, I have to steal. Oh, I could not do. It is. This world is a place where everyone should get joy by stealing. If you are a sadhu, monk, given up everything, you will be thinking, no attachment with anything. Always, that man is thinking, everyone is thinking of Brahman, God. My life is not yet perfected. Still my mind goes here and there. Oh, why not? Completely it is getting absorbed in meditation only. Meditation and meditation, God and God alone. Why it is not getting absorbed? Sadhu thinks in this way. And the drunkard, to him, everything is wine and drinking. He is my guru who can drink more and don't become unconscious, taking more and more pegs. So world also is like that. It is outside, we see according to our mind understanding. This is from Maya. We create this world outside. Actually, we see what is there in our mind. In the mind's mirror, it reflects creation of mind. Who knows this? And at the same time, at the time of samadhi, and I offer my pranams, prostrations, salutations to that guru who knows that these are all Maya and sees that ultimate reality. When he is in samadhi, in meditation, he feels the presence of the Brahman, Atman, identical, transcendent and immanent, same. He doesn't go anywhere to seek for pleasure, joy. We go, oh, my friend, I have come to see you. Oh, I am very happy to see you. He is happy with his own self. He knows this self, Atman, Brahman, are identical. So this stotra is wonderful, this Vedantic stotra by Shankaracharya, Dakshinamurti stotram. So what I am telling, we go forward a little with the book now. The crest jewel of discrimination. And I told you, Shankaracharya's life is, he was born to establish Advaita Vedanta in the whole world, to show that the ultimate reality is one and the only one, without any second. And thou art that. You don't think I am body. You are not the senses, you are not the mind, you are not the body. And if you can, get yourself established in this truth. This is actually truth. You are seeing you are a body. That is actually false, unreal. You are not that body. If you know the truth, then you become the knower of the truth and you go beyond all suffering. So he was born to do that, and through this book also, step by step, he will be trying to make us understand that finally, if you follow my instructions, my dear disciple, then tad viddhi pranipatena tat pariprushnena sevaya. This, how to get knowledge. You don't have faith in me, you don't believe in me, you have doubt in my knowledge, you have doubt in my ability, you have doubt in my thoughts, my ideas, then how can you become? You have to come with prayerfully, with folded hand, respectfully, and surrender your ego and ask, yes, you, with folded hand, come, and you have to offer service to the Guru. Yes, I am offering myself at your service. Please bless me with that, the knowledge of the ultimate reality, so that I also can know my real self and become liberated as you are my Guru. So you have to be completely obedient, submissive, and finally full faith in your Guru. And also you must be askance. You must be desirous to know. Scriptures do not say who are not ready for that, who will not ask, Guru will not answer that. In the 18th chapter, when it is ended everything, Arjun, I have spoken you the highest knowledge, highest devotion, everything, whatever is there, I have given to you. Now, don't speak it to others. Idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha ashrasrusubi vachang na cha jomang abhasuyati. Who cavils me, who are envious of me, who doesn't believe in my godhood, don't tell it to him. Don't tell who doesn't have any devotion. Don't tell, devotion is there, but does not, very lazy, doesn't do anything. No pursuit for achieving the goal. Devotion, oh God, God has, everything I am getting ready, God is good, I am a devotee of God. But not trying to know God, realize God, what God wants. So, not only devotion, devotion must be active devotion. Who is not, does not have any austerity, who is not austere. Only devotion, one must be devoted, a devotion, one must have devotion, one must practice austerities, and one must do some seva, one must be desirous of knowing, ask, I will now go for catching a flight. Time is there. Maharaj, now I am reading from the Gita or Upanishad. Come, Brahma, Satyam, Jagan, Mithya, all these Shankaracharya, come and listen. I am not in a mood to hear. Although I am a devotee, although I love God, although I have austerity, but I am not ready to hear it now. So one has to have time, this is just competence. So all these things he was establishing, beginning with his pranams to his Guru. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tam Agocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurung Pranato Asmaham. Pranato Asmi Aham. So what I am telling, I already told that his Guru's name was this Govinda Pada. So in this stotra he is offering, I prostrate myself before Govinda, the perfect teacher. Govinda means that God also. Here Govinda, his Guru, in one he has composed in such a way that the meaning of the Paramatma, Parabrahman, Parameshwar also is there, and meaning of my Guru, whose name is Govinda Pada, that also is there. So, I prostrate myself before Govinda, the perfect teacher, who is absorbed always in the highest state of bliss. His true nature cannot be known by the senses or the mind. It is revealed only through knowledge of the scriptures. I offer my first pranam prostrations to that person who is my Guru and who is the Paramatman, being embodied as my Guru, in the name of Govinda, that Govinda, ultimate reality, who is worshipped as Govinda, Paramatman, Parabrahman, whose name is Govinda. He who has embodied himself to give me knowledge, to enlighten me, as Govindapada, my Guru. So I offer my pranams. In one mantra, he has offered pranams to that ultimate reality Brahman, Govinda, and also to his Guru. Jantunang narajanma durlabha mata pungstang tato viprata. This Sanskrit I avoid, time is short. It is hard for any living creature to achieve birth in a human form. Strength of body and will are even harder to obtain. Purity is even harder still. Harder even than this is the desire to live a spiritual life. And an understanding of the scriptures is hardest of all. As for discrimination between the Atman and the non-Atman, the direct perception of the Atman itself, for continuous union with Brahman and final liberation, these cannot be obtained except through the merits of 100 billion well-lived lives. See, in the beginning, offering the first pranam to his Guru and the ultimate reality Brahman, then telling that in this life, having this human body, it is hard for any living creature to achieve birth in a human form. Then next, and human form is very difficult, then desire to know Brahman, then doing practice, all these things step by step, everything is very difficult. And as for discrimination between the Atman and all these are hardest of all. Understanding the scripture, and then also knowing that this Atman and that Brahman is one and the same, very, very difficult, and it cannot be obtained except through the merits of 100 billion well-lived lives. Guru Krishna Vaishnav tiner daya hole akir daya bine jeev chhare khare gelo. In my mind also I have to be very strong and faithful that yes, I will achieve. I will reach the ultimate goal. I will achieve that goal which my aim, which I am trying to, which my Guru has given, which scripture has already, scriptures have said, and which many before us, saints and rishis and munis, they, through their practice, achieved. I will also have. So I have to prepare myself, competent for that, and also the desire. And I have to have the practice, pursuit. All these things, merits are required. Durlabhang trayameveta daivanugraho hetukam manushyatam mumukshyatam mahapurusha samsraya. Only through God's grace may we obtain those three rarest advantages. Human body, then desire to know the ultimate reality, then to get a Guru, a man of knowledge who can guide me, a guide, this human body and the desire to know the truth, and a knower of the truth as my guide. These three things are very difficult, rarest advantages. Human birth, the longing for liberation, and discipleship or to an illumined teacher. So, in this way, he has started he is going on his arguments, and now it is background. Now he will ask the question about the disciple. I have to complete what is the message, and now he is telling who is competent. Competent also, yes, this is very difficult. Human body, desire to know, and you have got a Guru also, which is all good things you have achieved. But you have to qualify yourself also. What are those? For this fourfold sadhana, those are a little bit sadhana chatuscha chatvari. Ado nitta nitta vastu viveka parigamyate yamutra phalabhoga viraga stada anantaram samadhi shatak sampattir mumukshutvam iti sputam. What is the meaning? He alone is qualified to seek Brahman, who has discrimination, whose mind is turned away from all enjoyments, who possesses tranquility and the kindred virtues, and who feels a longing for liberation. My guru may be Einstein, and I have gone to learn something about physics from him. It is hard. It is a story that when Einstein spoke about his E is equal to mc square, that theory, then out of hundreds of scientists, only 2 understood, said, oh yes, what you say, mathematically you are trying to prove it, yes, I understand. After the session, 2 other scientists and teachers, they came, learned people. Yes, I understand a little bit, you explain again, he explained separately. Then 2 to 4, in his first attempt to make people understand the reality of this universe, this conservation, law of conservation of masses, law of conservation of energy, and how the energy can be transformed into masses, masses can be converted to energy. Nothing, you cannot destroy anything, only you can change, transform from this to that. All learned people could not understand. Out of hundreds, only 2, then 2, 4, gradually. You see how difficult it is. Although that is the true thing, that is the fact. So he is telling that if you do not have this qualification, then it will not. First is mentioned discrimination between the eternal and the non-eternal. Next comes renunciation of the enjoyment of the fruits of action, here and hereafter. Ihamutra, here and hereafter. I am not desirous of any good things I am doing. Good, bad. I will not do any bad things. Whatever good things I will do. But whatever I am doing, I will not be clinging to its fruits. I am not desirous. Detachment. Discrimination. What is right, wrong. I will be doing always the right thing. Real thing. I will follow what is real, what is unreal. Then whatever I will do, I will not seek for the result, fruit thereof, of my action. Then come the 6 treasures of virtue, beginning with tranquility, and last certainly is the longing for liberation. These 6 virtues are also there. This Shat Sampatti, this Sadhana Chatushtaya, this is also very important in the life of the beginners. If I do not know alphabets A, B, C, D, and I come to a very learned person and teach me all the knowledge, then how is it possible? I have to know the numericals, I have to know the words, I have to know the alphabets. You have not prepared yourself anything, although the Guru is the greatest one. But what will be of effect? What good there will be? So, this Sadhana Chatushtaya, a sequence of steps or means to practice that are outlined in the teachings of Vedanta and Jnana Yoga. They must be cultivated on the path of self-realization and form the foundation for deeper understanding and development. There are 4 pillars. What are those? These 4 practices: sadhana chatushtaya, discrimination or viveka. This describes the cultivation of the ability to discern between what is real and what is unreal, as well as between what is the self and what is not self, non-self. This is also an integral principle of the classical yoga philosophy, of Yoga Sutras. Then second is vairagya, viveka, vairagya, non-attachment. Once the practitioner has discrimination, vivek, they can reduce their attractions and aversions, helping them to become more dispassionate. This is second quality you needed, qualification. First is that, second is this. Now third, 6 virtues or shatak sampatti. What is this shatak sampatti? These attitudes and areas of mental training are culminated in order to bring equilibrium to the mind and emotions. They are tranquility, training of the senses, withdrawal of the senses. Anything and everything I am seeing, I am feeling greedy. Anything food, I am greedy. Anything enjoyable, I am lustful, greedy. And anything I don't like, I become angry. This will not do. So one has to control all these things. These are the preliminary preconditions to become a student of the Atma Tattva, this Brahma Tattva, Atma Tattva, this relation between that ultimate reality and myself, and to become free, to become illumined. If you want to become illumined, a man or woman of knowledge, then you have to follow these things. Forbearance, titiksha, faith and focus. One-minded, one-pointed. Together, this allow the mind to enter deeper states of contemplation and meditation. Mind is now meditative. It does not become irritated. In the Gita, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, remain. Samattang yoga uchyate. What is yoga? Samattang, equilibrium of the mind. Equanimity of the mind. Mind is never disturbed. Whatever is going on. Swami Sarvapriyananda Maharaj, who was the Holy Mother's caretaker like that, he used to say, I am the gateman of Holy Mother's house. Everyone is Calcutta, street is there. He is writing the life of Sri Ramakrishna. People are coming 24 hours, Holy Mother's darshan. He is undisturbed, unperturbed. Mind is trained in such a way that my mind will not be attached to anything happening with the surrounding, because I know the surrounding is separate, I am separate, my mind. So, mind will be more meditative, contemplative, focused, and will immediately understand what is the reality. And fourth and last is longing or mumukshutva. This is the great desire for enlightenment and liberation, which eventually subsumes all other more superficial desires. Finally, only one desire is there. What? I will not. Buddhadev, when finally he got the illumination, after having some payasam prepared by Sujata, he was I am sitting on this seat. Until and unless I get the illumination, I will not leave this seat. I will be meditating and meditating. In the process, if my skin, my bone, my fleshes, it all decays and goes, rottens, I don't bother for that. I die or I am alive. Without getting illumination, I will not leave this asana, this seat. See the conviction, see the determination. So, these are this mumukshutva. I want liberation in this life itself, not in this life, now itself, jivan mukta. There are two types of videha mukti and jivan mukti. Videha means after my death, I have done good things, I am always meditative, I am thinking of Brahman only, but I will be liberated only when I give up this body. I am dying. When I am dead, then my soul will be liberated. This small soul, this jivatman, individual soul. Another one is, I have known the truth, jivan mukta. I am illumined. Now itself, all the body is there, but I know I am not the body. I am the Atman. So, this, if you want mokshatu, that desire to experience that ultimate liberation, this is the great desire for enlightenment. All other desires subsumes in it. Those are not desires. This is the only desire. You can keep it in mind. Then you are a student. So, these are the simple things for achieving that goal. And in the book, we don't have any time. If again we get another chance, finally the teacher says, student says, yes, I am illumined, and lives, and the teacher also says, all right, my whatever I was doing, it is now fruitful. You are illumined. You have questions, I have answered, and you are illumined. As a guru, my duty I have done. I am also free. You are also free. You are illumined, no problem. So that is the book. So we cannot go forward any more. Time is already finished. So it is completed. If again we get a chance after Bhakti Yoga, we can start this Vivek Chudamani if there is any scope. However, thank you for your presence. If any question is there, 2 minutes we can take for that. We should not take more time.
Not for now, but let's see. Any question from the audience? No.
So that is good. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om that mantra, let everyone be happy, let everyone be free of diseases, and let everyone see good in others, virtues and auspiciousness in everything, and let none should suffer from any suffering, any misery. Om, peace, peace, peace.
Swami will leave tomorrow morning. So in this chance, on last talk, no? Today is the last talk. So without saying anything more, I request Swami to give his sermon.
Om asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om shanti shanti shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness unto light, lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Our experiences are what we call our lives. Yeah? And we saw yesterday how the student asks a question, a remarkable question. He doesn't ask about some special experience. He asks, what is the nature of experience itself? What's the nature of seeing and hearing and talking and thinking and feeling and breathing? Just our life. What's the secret of this? What makes all of this possible? He asks, which bright being illumines all of our experiences? And the teacher's answer we saw was equally remarkable, even more remarkable. It is the eye of the eye. It is the ear of the ear. It is the mind of the mind. It is the speech of the speech. It is the breath of the breath. And that one, if you realize that one light which makes our seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, feeling, speaking, actions, all of it possible, that one light, if you realize that, right here, right now, you will attain to freedom while being embodied in this body. You will transcend the body and mind. And after death, you attain to the bodiless freedom. Jivan Mukti, freedom here, Videha Mukti, freedom hereafter. Both you attain. The ultimate goal, purpose, point of human life is attained thereby. Why just human life? All existence. That is the dimensions, that is the depth, the profound depth of the matter which we are discussing here. It does not get any more sublime. It does not get any more profound, what we are discussing here. And yet it's not easy to point out. And the teacher said, speech cannot reveal it. Eyes, our senses cannot objectify it. Our speech cannot, whatever we can express in language cannot capture that ultimate reality, that pure consciousness. Mind cannot conceive of it. Yet, they gave the teaching in a remarkable teaching. How do we know what we are talking about? This pure consciousness, what is it? How do we know? And the teacher said, it's other than the known. It's other than the unknown. Some of the mantras which I did not refer to yesterday, he follows it up by saying, what is that? It is that which cannot be seen by the eyes, but because of which you get the experience of seeing. And that one, he says, know that to be Brahman, the ultimate reality of this universe. from which this universe emerges, in which it exists, into which it disappears, that Brahman and this light by which you have the experience of seeing, they are one and the same thing. The Atman within and the reality of this universe, Brahman, they are one and the same. It is not something that the mind can think of, but because of it, you have the experience of thinking, willing, imagining, remembering, desiring. So it lights up the mind, but the mind cannot grasp it. The eyes cannot see it, but it sees everything. I was just remembering that right here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena, in fact, Swami Vivekananda was here, and there was a young lad, Ray, I think. He asked Ray, do you know, can you see your own eyes? He says, no. And you know, God is like that. God sees everything, but you cannot see him. Just as I see everything, it's almost a language of the Kenopanishad Vivekananda was using right here in Los Angeles, in Pasadena. And so this is the teaching. The light by which we experience everything, by which we see, hear, smell, taste, touch, by which we think, by which we speak, all actions, all mentation, all feeling, all sensory experiences, all of these experiences are because of that one central light. It is often called the light of lights, Jyotisham apitad jyoti, the light of lights forever beyond darkness. The teacher does not use language like Atman, pure consciousness. No, he just says ear of the ear, eye of the eye, almost like Vivekananda's language. It's like your own eyes, which you cannot see. Having said this, the teaching is now complete. Hopefully, the student is enlightened. Now it's the time for an exam, quiz. The teacher wants to test whether the student has become enlightened. So the teacher asks a question, puts a difficult question, tough question to the student. Yadi manyasesu vedeti daharam evapi nunam tvam vetha brahmano rupam yadasya tvam yadasya deveshvatanu mimamsyam evate manye viditam. The teacher asks the student, so do you know Brahman? That's the subject today, by the way. Do you know Brahman? So it's done. Teaching is over. Do you know Brahman? Because if you think you know Brahman, then you know very little indeed. You know very little of that ultimate reality which is behind this cosmos. You know very little of it within yourself. Two things, subject and object. I, the individual, and this cosmos. I, the subject, and this objective universe. And what he has been teaching the student is your innermost reality, that consciousness because of which your life is possible, is also the reality of this universe. Atman is Brahman. I'm quoting Sam Altman. Yeah, somebody asked him, OpenAI guy, ChatGPT, somebody asked him, tell us something that you believe in which we don't know. And he said, Atman is Brahman, using those words. So he's very interested in Advaita Vedanta. Anyway, so that's what the teaching is. Atman is Brahman. That is your innermost reality, that consciousness because of which you have all these experiences, which is the question that the student asked. But he says this is also the reality of the universe. The one who sees and that which you see. The one who hears and that which you hear. The subject and the object are all one reality, one underlying reality. Got it? Enlightened? What do you think? The student says yes. But if you think you know Brahman, you know very little. You know very little of it in the cosmos, he says, literally if you translate, in the gods. And very little of it within yourself. You have not understood what we are talking about. What do I do then? And the teacher says, Mimamsyam evat. It's an ancient word, Mimamsa. It's, in fact, if you ask a traditional Pandit, Vedanta, they will say it's Mimamsa. What's the meaning of? Relax. Don't fight it. What is the meaning of this word Mimamsa? It is Vedic hermeneutics, interpretation. All this philosophy that we do, Drigdrishya, Viveka, Panchakosha, the way of the five sheets, seer and the seen, all this logic, philosophy, a traditional Vedanta Pandit will say all that is secondary. It's basically interpretation of the Vedic texts of the Upanishads. That's Vedanta. Interpretation of the pre-Upanishadic, the Karma Kanda, the Upasanas, of those texts is what is called Purva Mimamsa, the earlier Vedic hermeneutics. And what we call Vedanta is Uttara Mimamsa, the later, the Vedic hermeneutics, interpretation of texts. But Mimamsa also has another meaning. Mimamsa means, the definition is Pujita Vichara, a reverential inquiry. A little contradiction in terms. You have reverence and you are inquiring. So you go into this inquiry with the idea there is something worthwhile here. I don't get it right now, but I implicitly trust what the text and the teacher is saying. Let me try to get it. And in order to get it, I undertake an inquiry. So it's a reverential inquiry. You can have skeptical inquiry. You can have free thinking. You can have skepticism. I don't believe any of it. Or you can have belief, reverence, without inquiry. You're telling me, so I believe you. No, neither will work. In Vedanta, you need both Shraddha, reverence. Otherwise, nobody will enter this path or stick to it. So we have that. That's what has made all of us turn up here. We are all here because of a shared reverence, a shared faith in what's going on here. But then on top of that, one must inquire. One must come to understand. One must come to see for oneself. Otherwise, it won't work. This is the path of knowledge. It must dawn on us. We must see for ourselves. So, mimamsyam evate, inquire. The student says, what should I do then? I think I know. The teacher says, you know very little. What should I do? Inquire, reverential inquiry, mimamsyam evate. How do you do this reverential inquiry? Well, listen to the texts, go back to the YouTube classes, read the books, listen to the masters, think about it again, think it through. I try to attain more clarity. Once the clarity is attained, the student comes back and says, I have inquired. And, do you know Brahman? Same question. You can take the test again. He says, I think I do. Manye veditam, I do. And you can see the teacher rolling his eyes. Didn't I tell you it cannot be known? It's other than the known. If you know it, you don't know it. You say, I'm asking you, do you know it? He says, yes, I do. But I told you, it's other than the known, other than the unknown. Did you not hear the teaching? Now, if the student is in it, it's a difficult question. Because if you say, I know it, he'll say, you have not understood the teaching. Because it cannot be known. And if you say, I don't know it, well, the whole teaching failed then. You're unenlightened. But the student is one step beyond the teacher. He's a wonderful student, grade A student. So he has his own comeback to the teacher. Teacher asks, so, do you know Brahman? He says, I think I do. And before the teacher's, like exasperated look, the student, you can imagine, you have to visualize all. The student says, wait a minute. Naham manyesu vedeti no na vedeti vedacha. Yonas tadveda no na vedeti vedacha. I don't say that I know it. Ah, so you don't know it. No, I know it. Ah, so you know it. No, I don't. It's not that I do not know it, but it's not that I know it. And you can see, imagine the other students all scratching their heads. What's going on here? I know it and I don't know it. And the student looks around and he says, Yonas tadve, those who understand my statement that I know it and I do not know it. It's not that I do not know it, I do know it and I do not know it. Those of us who understand this statement, they know it. Now this is an answer. Now see what the student has done. It's a remarkable answer. You know what the student has done? He has just repeated back the teacher's teaching. It is other than the known. It's other than the known, therefore I don't know it. But it's other than the unknown, therefore I know it. If it's other than the unknown, then I know it. It's not that I don't know. And if it's other than the known, then in that sense I do not know it. What he means is, that's why I'm saying it's all following from the original question of the student. It means what we normally think, ordinarily understand by knowing, that I see it, I hear it, or I read about it, or the sacred texts tell me about it, or I reason about it, do scientific experiments about it, or ask Google about it. At this point, somebody's phone will say, I'm sorry, I did not follow that. So ask Google about it. In some way we know it. And the student says, no, we cannot know it in that way. because it's other than the known. But is it unknown? Of course not. That light, that consciousness by which I see, I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch, I think, how can it be unknown? It's known everywhere, all the time, as I, me, myself. As the core of my being, as that which powers all my experiences. Basically the light of my life, the light of lights. How can it be unknown? So of course it's not unknown to me, but of course it's not known to me. And those who understand the statement among these other students, they understand, they know it too. And the teacher is delighted. You got it. Now see, if he had just repeated the teacher's words back to him, that wouldn't have been much of a credit. If he had just said, yes, it's other than the known, other than the unknown. The teacher would have gone, duh, I just told you that. Tell me something new. But he put it in his own realization, in his own experience. And he said that he gave the same teaching, but in his own experience, in his own language, in his own formulation. And see, just repeating the teacher's words is no guarantee that I have understood. I can repeat the words of the scripture back to you, but doesn't mean that I'm enlightened. I like that story, there's an anecdote about the philosopher Wittgenstein. And apparently in the class he would come and do philosophy, because what he taught in the class became philosophy. It became philosophy books afterwards. So he would stand in front of the students and think it through, and he would come up with something new all the time. He was not teaching from a textbook. He was philosophizing in class. The thing about him was, whatever you said, if you tried to say, Professor, this is what you taught us, he would say, no, I didn't say that. This was exasperating to the students. Every time they would get contradicted. He would say, no, that's not what I said. So one of the students apparently wrote down what Wittgenstein said, literally. And in the next class, in order to catch him out, said, so you said this. And Wittgenstein said, no, I didn't say this. Said, Professor, this is exactly what you said. I wrote it down. These are your words. And then Wittgenstein said, but you don't mean by those words what I meant by them. But now, if you can convey the same message in different language, it's not that I do not know, and not that I know either. I both know and I do not know. So everybody's looking confused. You can imagine all this. And the teacher wants to explain. It's either the teacher or the Upanishad. The commentator says it could be either. The teacher looks at all the students and explains, what did he just say? What did he just say? Yasya matam tasya matam matam yasya na vedasa avijñātam vijānatam vijñātam avijānatam. Those who think I know it, they do not. And to those who think I do not know it, they know it. For it is known to those who do not know and unknown to those who know. I'm sure that cleared it up for everybody. So that is the explanation. We know what is being said here. We know that, see, when you say, I do not know, it means I do not know as an object. I do not know as something seen, heard, smelled, tasted, touched, something thought about, something spoken about, something written about, something believed, something inferred. Not in that way. It's not an object. But it is that to which all experience, all knowledge happens. So it is self-luminous. It's revealed in every experience. In that sense, it is known. But it is known not as an object, but as the very subject, as the reality about ourselves, as what we truly, essentially, we really are. Our own real self. The real I. We have a series of small eyes. And the Buddhist momentary consciousness, Kshanika Vijnana, they were right. Experience. Our life is a series of experiences. The Buddhist said, with every experience arises the experiencer. And it fades away. The next experience and an experiencer. I'm seeing something and there is a seer. I see. And the seeing goes away. The I which saw also goes away with that. Another I arises. These are vrittis in the mind. This is called ahankara, the ego vritti. It arises with every object. Every subject arises with an object. But beyond both of these fleeting subjects and objects, fleeting experiences and experiencing egos, is the real I, which is, call it the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, call it pure consciousness, call it Atman, Brahman, whatever. So that is the real self. So that is what they are pointing towards. It's me. It is, I am not something known, but I am not unknown either. So therefore, I, the consciousness, am other than the known, and I am other than the unknown. See, when he says here that if those known to those who do not know, what does he mean? What does the teacher mean? He means advanced students of Vedanta who have studied Vedanta, who have pursued this quest for self-knowledge for a long time. When they say, I do not know it as an object of knowledge, they know what they're talking about. They're not talking about the common man on the street. If you go out there and ask somebody, do you know Brahman? Say, what? What Brahman? I don't know any Brahman. So is he enlightened then? So clearly the Upanishad says those who do not know, they know. So if he says, I don't know, I don't know any Brahman. So, you are enlightened, great master. No, they're not enlightened.